come from a humble place where Jah watch over we. Dirty heart, you could say as you like, you could do as you please, but you ain't stopping me. You ain't. You could waste energy if you like, but you can't stop me. No, you ain't stopping me. Step up. Dirty heart could say what they want. They could never stop me, no. And they could do as they please. They could never pull me down. 'Cause I was born as a winner. Oh, dirty heart, tell me why you see now. All you can tired, but mine it don't walk it. All you try to get me fired, but that still ain't working. Try to make my woman leave me, but that still ain't working. Go buy you me a man to do me. Give up now. My money still making. You've tried for years, and up to now, you still waiting. I'm telling you now, that bad mind not working. It's like you inherit. Dirty heart, you could say as you like, you could do as you please, but you ain't stopping me. No, you ain't stopping where you could waste energy if you like, but you can't stop me. No, you ain't stopping me. Oh, dirty heart could see what they want. They could never stop me, no. And they could do as they please. They could never pull me down. 'Cause I was born as a winner. Dirty heart, tell me why you see now. You're full of energy. All you can tired, but mine it don't walk it. All you try to get me fired, but that still ain't working. Try to make me woman leave me, but that still ain't working. Go buy you be a man to do me. Oh, oh, oh. It ain't working, no, no, no. Oh, 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 oh. You're expert. Can't stop Jah people. Just fun.
If it's one thing I'm most grateful for, it's life. Knowing where I came from and knowing where I'm at today. The simple things in life that matters. Most time people take life for granted, but gratitude is a must.
Now, yes. Listen. Protect I and I from the a trap set for me. Into your hands I submit my spirit. Almighty, deliver me. Yes, deliver me. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Me piece of shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Yes, I said, oh yes, oh yes. Too blessed to be stressed. Once my circle positive, then I man could care less. I said, oh yes, oh yes. Most I get the praise for guiding me through the darkest night and my shiny day. So when I rise up and start yawning, yes, I have to praise thee. I man have to praise thee for my friends and my family and my loved one who never left by my side. Yes, I have to praise thee. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Me piece of shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Yes, I said, oh yes, oh yes. I'm so grateful. Cause even though it's a travel walk, the kids have to go to school. I said, oh yes, oh yes. Happy and content. Don't matter how small it is, I still have to pay the rent. So when I rise up and start yawning, yes, I have to praise thee. I man have to praise thee for my friends and my family and my loved one who never left by my side. Yes, I have to praise thee. Cause despite the struggles and fights, I smile, everything is alright. I say thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Me piece of shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Yeah, yeah. Now, yeah. Gratitude is a must.
Don't stop the
special place for them haters. I need to have a special place for them traitors. I walk in hard and you want to remain laid back. You better stay far. Yeah, bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh no, I don't need you. What's a bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No. Hey, cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip. Yeah, I say I know already. Never me again. To put my whole trust in a human being. Too disrespectful, ignorant, feel your damn thing. But I nothing I have life and I'm still living. Don't care what you think, yeah. Only you're drinking water, but people business you're in. You're running your mouth like sprinter. Like Mikey life is their neighbor. Fake names come like a part of them. They want to know your business, to talk it on the block with a friend. Oh, nah, bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Yeah, cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Yeah, bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip, oh, I know already. Yeah. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No. Oh, no.
And a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 7 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on a beautiful Tuesday night on the Isle of Spice. Yes, it is, has been a holiday. I know many of you have been out to various activities during the day today. Yes, as I was on my way here, I did pass through several little things here and there in the road, yeah. People having a little time. Nice. Yeah, just remember tomorrow is a normal work day. Yeah, tomorrow is a normal work day. I'm saying a special good night to those of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM out there in beautiful St. Patrick. I'm not sure if Sister Isle FM is on with us tonight, but Sister Isle FM 92.9 out there in the lovely Sister Isle of Carriacou is supposed to be joining us for the people of Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and of course the rest of the Grenadine Islands. And also in Brooklyn, 94.9 We Noise Radio. Good night to you, Wade. I don't know if you're up or if you're down, but good night to you. Good night to the entire home circle. And we also say a special good night to those of you joining us via the various lives, those of you who have joined us via YouTube, those who have joined us via Facebook. Let me just run through quickly. And before I go there, let me say a special good night to Zayla and Zoe. Right, Zayla is one household, Zoe is our next household. So I'm making sure and say good night to both of them. Before I go anyway, All right. I'm saying good night to two of them. Yes, I like myself because at the end of the day, those children, I don't have it easy with them. All right. So good night to Zayla and Zoe. Good night to you, Crystal Theodore, Maudlin, Amanda, Nakisha, Denise, Connie, good night, my dear. Jill, good night. Nesta, Marcel, Peter, Sherms, good night to you. Sherma, good night to you. Cindy, let me see, Langdon, Teresa, Maria, let me see who else is there. Paula, I'm seeing Lynn, good night to you. Wallen, good night. Wallen, you're looking for parcels. I have parcels, but I'm holding on to them. Sometimes timing is everything. So there's information I have that I could do a whole program on tonight, but sometimes timing. All right, nice. So let me see who else is there. Kish, good night to you. And Marcel, and let me see, Nesta, good night to you. Kishon, Jennifer, Edlin, Charmaine, Tegwa, I like that name. Amina, good night to you. All right, so Bernadette, Shoprite Duncan, good night to you. Shawnell, Veronica, John, Rodney, Cynthia, good night to all of you out there on the live. Anybody I've missed, it is not purposely that I've missed you, but as I'm scrolling through. And on Facebook, Alan, good night to you. And Phyllis, Maria, Deborah, Anne-Marie, Gemma, Gavin, Agnes, Faithlin, Wilfred, Clive, Miriam, Baby Daddy, Alban, Yesenia, Kathleen, Christine, Amanda, Margot, Marilyn, Listra, Sky, Vanessa, Kim, Sherma, yeah, I know you have to be somewhere around now. I know if you're not on Facebook, you're on YouTube. Errol, Maud, Henry, Bernadette, Anastasia, Alcy, Oswald, Beavis, Eliza, Dominic, Joyce down there in Trinidad, good night to you. Michelle, Kelvin, Cynthia, Iva, Christopher, Gleason, Misha, Lorna, Matthew Boyne, good night to you. Stephanie John, good night to you. Jacinta Livingston, good night to you. Hermina Batiste, Hazel, Errol, and Barbara, Fitzroy, Tasha, Chanel, Julius, good night. Belle, let me see, Veronica, Wilma, Gina, yeah, and Wilma Paris, good night to you. All right, and of course, a lot of people, they like that last song, yeah, but I think I'm starting off kind of like this one now. Yes, indeed. And folks, we're going to keep the phone lines open. Yeah, we're going to keep the phone lines open for the entire program tonight, so you can call at any time. Remember the phone number 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on to tonight's program. As you would realize, my voice is not sounding as it normally sounds, and that's because I realize my voice is going. Yeah, for whatever reason, my voice seems to be going. So you're all going to have to help me tonight, eh? Nice.
They can't stop us.
Marcel, good night to you. Angie. To you, Mr. Watts out there in Brooklyn.
Well, everybody.
Zingo.
Sing.
To my good friends in Richmond, don't think I've forgotten you all. And those of you up in Washington, D.C., Texas, I know you all are locked in. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Hey, Shannon, good night. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Not 100%, but I did.
I understand. I just want to remind the people of St. Mark's on Thursday evening, 6:30, we will be having the first public meeting right by Hero Square.
But here's what, you're a bit low. You need to speak up a bit for me.
Oh, you hear me clear?
Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe my phone. Yeah, so as I said on Thursday, starting 6:30, right at Hero Square, we will be having the first public meeting. We'll be speaking on various issues on the economy, health, job unemployment. We'll be speaking about the rising crime. We're touching on a lot of issues. So we're calling on the people of Victoria and the surroundings. I think bus will be providing for those from Samaritan come down and from Man go up. So we'll be organizing about a 2 bus to take people there. Yes, so we're starting our first meeting. It's not about politics, but it is about issues that are affecting us. And sometimes, some people, they don't know a lot of things, what is going on. Sometimes they may not get any time to listen news, or sometimes the news will put it on, or sometimes they don't listen to these mediums and them. So we need to go out there publicly and let them know what is going on, to wake up, to keep them awake and let them realize what is going on in this country, because there's a lot of issues this country is facing, and we need to let them know about it. All right? Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you so very much, my friend. So that's on Thursday, the constituency of St. Mark. Dr. Clarice Modest, yes, she'll be having that meeting at Hero Square this Thursday from 6:30 p.m. So those of you in St. Mark and even surrounding areas who may want to attend as well and hear what is taking place in relation to the various issues, you can attend. But that is taking place 6:30 this Thursday, not last week Thursday, not next week Thursday, this week Thursday from 6:30 p.m. So that meeting will be taking place at Hero Square in St. Mark. And as we on the West Coast, I did speak last night about the situation where, them fellas get a bong check and things. So some clarity was brought to that on that issue to my attention today, right? So the committee gave the checks with the full understanding that the government had already put the money into the account for them so that the payments would clear. So it's not like the committee went and just said they're handing out checks willy-nilly and they didn't expect that there was money in the account. A promise was made by the government, and you know who's the MP for that area, by the government to the committee, that the payment, the subvention that is usually provided to that association for the Fisherman's birthday or the Feast of St. John, or whichever way you want to call it, the Fisherman birthday celebrations in St. John, that those monies were supposed to have been provided. So that when they issued those checks, the checks ain't supposed to bounce like a rubber ball in here, you understand? It ain't supposed to bounce. That was not done. Yeah? Even before hearing of this, I knew that they were speaking about the fact that usually you have buntings and decorations, and so that was promised by the MP from what I'm being told, and nothing came up. Yeah? They tried to do what they could do on the last minute on their own, but what they were promised, that did not materialize. All right? So I'm calling on the Honorable MP. Please. Yeah. Sort out the committee. Yeah. Just make what calls you had to make. Do what you had to do. And sort out your committee. Because especially some of the competitors, etc., from other communities outside of St. John, they ain't looking too favorable on what happened there. Nah, they ain't looking too nice. All right? So please help redeem the committee. Make sure and get the payment to them so they can do what they're supposed to do. Because they paid believing that the payment that the government promised them would be in by a particular date was there. And that payment was not there. All right? So, Madam Minister, Madam MP, please ensure that that is sorted out. All right? Nice. Yeah, we want to make sure that them fellas and them name clear. What kind of thing is that? Yeah. You know the names are to call like a particular MP. Good night to you, Cousin Londa. Cecile and Janice, good night to both of you. Teresa, where's Dominic? I haven't seen Dominic check in tonight. Good life, Carl. Good night to both of you. Also, I've been reliably informed by one or two pensioners, I don't know if it has happened across the board, that they have received their payment now and it has been retroactive. So for all the time they wasn't getting, they get everything now. All right, so let me give them a nice little yes. The pensioners, you see, all we just have to do is talk about it here and things does happen, you know. Right, so the pensioners, right, I don't know if it's in all cases. Those of you that still ain't get, maybe you need to give me a little buzz, you understand? Right. But one or two have messaged when they heard me mention it last night. They mentioned the Fisherman. Now the money has come in. And all that we had to get from before, what we wasn't getting before, has come in. All right? So let's hope that that is across the board. Not just to pay one or two and it still have some outstanding and so on. Let's hope all of them have gotten what they're supposed to get. All right? If you remain silent on the issues, nothing will happen, you know. You have to speak out in relation to the issues. And I have to say this, there are many of us who would outright say that we support our political party, that we support the New National Party. There are many of us who are frontliners. We do a lot of work in the front line. People like myself. Who Calypsonians find it okay to just sing on me. I don't care. It's 6 or 1 half a dozen of the other. Parang, people sing on me. Right? And I'm in the front line. I'm taking the blows. I'm out there. I'm speaking on behalf of you all. Yeah? And also helping provide the platform together with others. It's not me alone doing this. Helping provide the platform for you all to be able to speak on various issues. But there are some who claim to support, but they ain't doing anything to help the situation. Instead of coming out and speaking on issues, instead of coming out and saying, how can I help? The day in the background only shushuing. What have you done? If you are truly a supporter, because you know them, you know. They have them in all political parties. They are the people that does being, say they working in the background. But all they're doing is trying to make a confusion here or make a confusion there. Well, they could try, you know, because NNP doesn't do with confusion. But they're trying to make a confusion here, try to make a confusion there. So whether it's trying to make a confusion on me or try to make a confusion on others, that is where they specialize. But ask them, between the 23rd of June last year and now, what have they done? 1 for their party and 2 for their country, and they can't answer you. Outside, I try to make confusion. Yeah? So there are many of you out there who can help, who are willing to help. I came in here yesterday. There were 2 applications from people who are ready to join the party. They've sent in their application and so on. They're looking to join the party. They've gotten in contact with the party secretariat. They are signing up their forms. They're sending it in. There are people that are coming in and that are willing to help. There are people over the last few months that I've met who have not only joined the party, but I know that if I call those individuals tonight and I say, listen, I need a lift, or I need you to do this in the morning for this individual or so on, that they will willingly, without any asking why, what, they'll do it. Yeah? So become part of the movement forward. Instead of focusing on all these little bits and pieces and nonsense, focus on how you can contribute to building your party. Yeah? How you can help recruit people to the organization, because I know how it does go, you know. I know how it does go. You're there and you're fighting up. And then when the victory comes, you just see a set of people start to jump in and say, well, are they working in the background? They was working so far in the background that you never see them, you never hear about them, you know. But I was working in the background. Yeah? When it was time to take blows, they ain't out there to take blows. They ain't out there to take no blows. When it's time to take blows, they hide in. When it's time to stand up in front, they ain't standing up. But when the victory come, they run in front. We be walking in the background. Yeah? And while they're walking in the background, they're trying to make all kind of stupidness in the background. Make sure that you are part of the process towards the eventual victory. Yeah? Recruitment is important. Yeah? Recruitment is important. Each and every one of us should be trying to recruit people to the political organization because it's very important. Secondly, mobilization within polling divisions, within constituencies, mobilizing people to events and so on, making sure that you know the names and addresses of individuals, especially those who are going to be first-time voters, those who are going to be between the ages of 18 to 25. Have you been keeping in contact with them? Have you made sure that they are registered? Yeah? Remember, the bell is not in the hand of Dr. Mitchell. It's in the hand of Deacon Mitchell. So he can ring that bell whenever he wants. He can ring it today if he wants. He could, 12 o'clock tonight, he could send a message to the Governor General and decide that he calling it today. Yeah? It is not in the hand of Dr. Mitchell, it's in the hand of Deacon Mitchell, which means that you have to be eternally vigilant. Yeah? So you ought to make sure that not only you are registered, and not only that you are in the correct polling division, that you are in the correct place where you ought to be, yeah? You also have to make sure that your family, or you could be living in a house with people, and you're not sure if they are registered. And then an election is announced, and last minute now, your husband or your wife or your children have to be rushing to get registered and in the same house with you? Come on, seriously. So we have to make sure that we are registered, that those who are close to us are registered, that those we work with, we have to double check. Yeah. You think I doesn't double check even the people who are in the NNP offices, that I didn't even use to double check to make sure that they're registered? I said, make sure you're registered. You understand? And sometimes I give a little call, hey, what happened? I ain't see your name, you know. Oh, no, I changed from that constituency to another constituency because legally I've moved, so I've changed my constituency and that kind of thing. Yeah? But you make sure. It doesn't matter who it is. You make sure that the persons are registered and ready. Yeah? There's a lot of work to do. And if we all don't come out and become part of the work, then when you leave everything in the hands of a few, you're going to just tire out. You see the little piece of gray I have on the beard there? The whole thing go turn white. Yeah? Even the cap I'm wearing go turn white too. Right? So all of us have to come together and ask, even if you just ask, how can I help? How can I be part of the process? Because come the next election night, when everybody jumping up, you want to be able to jump up and say, yes, I work hard for that. Yeah? So the time is now. Don't wait until when you hear it sound like an election coming soon or so, because you mightn't hear it. Yeah? I have my own calculations in my head. You may not hear it. So we all need to be part of the process. Yeah? We all need to be part of the process. Let me say it again. We all need to be part of the process. Right? So whether it's getting people to register, whether it's helping to mobilize people, whether it's, as you say, you want to be working in the background, because we realize that we are living in a time of victimization in this country. Serious victimization. You have people like me that don't care, ain't afraid. They could do what they want to do. They could say what they want to do. I ain't care. They can't scare me. They can't scare me, and I never had a shame plate for it to break. So they can't embarrass me. Nothing they do will stop me from speaking. Yeah? So they can't embarrass me. And they can't shame me. And they can't scare me. Right? But there are many of us who may not be of the same ilk. And I understand that. But you can still help. Not everybody would be up in the front. Yeah? Not everybody would be there. But there are things to do. Going over the canvas list, making sure that the list is canvassed properly and so on. And who is supposed to be there is there. And who is not supposed to be there is taken off. Yeah? Those of you that would like to be part of an election day machinery. Because remember, I was listening to an interview that the Prime Minister did. In fact, I read it because I think there's a video of it, but I read the interview that the Prime Minister did in the UK about a month or so ago when he was there for the coronation of King Charles III. And he was speaking of Grenada becoming a republic, which would mean that we would have to have a referendum, according to our constitution, for us to change our constitution in that way. A major change like that would mean that we have to have a constitutional reform process. You have to go through a referendum, yeah? And with that referendum, it means that we all would have to vote. Those of us that want to would have to come out and vote to decide if we become a republic or if we remain part of the Commonwealth. Yeah? So you may find yourself, and he mentioned in that interview that he was looking at the year 2024. That's just next year. The year of our 50th anniversary of independence. In case that comes around. In case. Because you know sometimes they say one thing and then do something different. Well, most times. So in case that comes around, are you ready to be part of that process? What if he decides that he wants to head that direction even before the 7th of February next year, so that on our 50th anniversary of independence, that we also become a republic? What if he decides he's going that direction and you can't stop him. He could decide he go in that direction. He had 2/3 majority now in the parliament. He could go, he could decide, he could push through the bill, the referendum bill in parliament, and so on. He could decide that he's going that direction. Yeah? And are you ready to make that decision? Are you ready? Are you registered? Are you on the voters list? Yeah? What are you doing to ensure that when the time comes that you're sure on the victory, that by 1 o'clock election day, you're paying attention to everything, you know, but you know in your heart you win already. You ain't have to be guessing. You know that your number's correct. You know that your numbers, who you have to get in is in. You know that the work that you did over the last couple of years or last couple of weeks and last couple of months, last couple of days and last couple of hours leading up to that point in time, you know that you're safe. You ain't have to worry ahead. But you're still going and get whatever stragglers that you have to get to make sure that they are in as well. Yeah? How many of us are part of that process? I'm saying that in the context that I think some of us focus on the wrong things. And what we ought to be focusing on, yeah, the reorganization of the organization. Yeah, that is where our head is supposed to be at. Right? Again, there are those of us that we frontliners, we ain't afraid. We coming out and talk. You see us on Facebook and we talking on our own profile. We ain't making no profile because we are not afraid. We ain't afraid nobody. Anything we had to say, we say it on our own profile. Yeah? So there are those of us like that. I mean, but there are others who might not be so inclined. And we understand that. But there are things that you can do. So please be part of the process going forward. All right? Nice? We understand? Good. Nice.
We move and ain't nobody can stop us now.
And when I'm saying these things, I'm saying these things in context like this. For instance, let me show you a post that I've seen on Facebook in the past few days. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. This is a post that I've seen on Facebook in the past few days. Now it says it's been, for those of you that are listening via radio, it says it's been 1 year since election. So now is the time to talk about this incident that happened right before my eyes in the polling station. A woman that voted in the Grand Roy School reached down the road with the ballot and come back up to put it in the box with she finger well painted. In other words, this person is saying that they were there at the polling station. Someone left with a ballot from the polling station in Grand Roy, left. They went with the ballot and they came back with the ballot to put it in the box. Were you ever hear about that? Yeah? I asked her who she voted for, and when I found out it was my cousin, I pretended I didn't see. If was for the house, all now the polling station closed. So you know that person did not vote for the New National Party. Now tell me, how does an individual, and where were the people from the New National Party at that polling division to see something like that taking place? That somebody leave a polling station. They're admitting some of the stuff that they do now, and I hope that some sort of investigation in relation to this issue takes place. So they're admitting that somebody get the ballot, leave the polling station with the ballot, come back with the ballot mark and the fingerprint to put it in the box. That is totally against the procedure that was supposed to have taken place at that polling station. So how... Sometimes people just posting for fame and I don't think they understand what they're posting, Yeah, because definitely, in my belief, an investigation needs to take place in relation to this. A woman that voted in the Grand Roy School reached down the road with she ballot. She leave the polling station with the ballot and come back with the ballot and she finger painted. So she come back with the ballot just to put it in the box. That ain't supposed to happen. You and I, and even the individual who has posted this, knows that that is not supposed to happen. So definitely, in my view, an investigation needs to take place there. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. Good night, Talking Points family.
How you doing, brother?
Ade. Sheldon, during the campaign of 2022, there was pocket meeting by the then leader of the NDC, Dika Mitchell. And he was basically telling people, when you go on the line and vote, go and vote and come back and hold the line for your friend and things like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember when that was being said.
Right.
I probably have that statement somewhere there, but I've been doing some cleaning up.
Right. Now, Honorable Dika Mitchell as Prime Minister, I wonder how does he feel looking back, if he does have a conscience, looking back and listening to all his utterances during the campaign as leader of NDC. People always say NDC was in opposition. NDC was not in opposition. NDC was an opposition party. Tobias Clement later on sometime became the opposition leader. So we are getting tied up with all these things that we need to learn and understand with civics. But Honorable Dika Mitchell and his ministers now, they were saying a lot of things, and I ain't lying to tell you. According to what's her name? Honorable Connie Joseph, grossly or inadequate. Yeah, that's our government. So let us go back and listen to what they were saying as usual and what they're saying now, and we go pin that to them. According to Mr. Pierre, we go tie the truth on them.
My boy, before you go, let me give you another one. Say, as you mentioned, the Minister of Labour, that is the same individual who said that the former Labour Commissioner was unable to work with the staff. Now remember, Ministry of Labour is one of the smallest staff out of any ministry. I'm trying to think of a ministry that have a smaller staff than them, and I really can't think of one. So that department, that ministry, not department, ministry, has one of the smallest staff that I know. And the Minister of Labor, right after, remember the Thursday we bust the story that the Labor Commissioner gone, and then they rush and do a press conference the Friday morning. In that press conference, the Minister of Labor was saying that this individual couldn't work with the staff and basically dressed down the person. Yeah? That person basically was not a good person and they can't work with people, so they had to part ways with them and that kind of thing. But now it's the same person I hear like they get a job down in the airport, and I hear his people they had to deal with down there. So I'm wondering if this is a person that the Minister of Labor said can't work with people, and now they get a job down at the airport to work with people. They ain't working with the planes, and it's not the planes they go in and interact with. It's human beings down there. What taking place?
Right, and I remember also during the COVID period, that same said selected member of government or cabinet right now, Mr. Joseph, was against the vaccine and against the restrictions and what have you. You see, these people, the level of what I would say narcissism, it is becoming on them right now, and they're leading by avoidance. So I would say to all those that selected as ministers, please, just recheck yourself and come good again. Have a good night.
Okay, my brother. And I see some of you in the chat saying that the person make it up and so on. I don't care if the person make it up, The mere fact that they have alleged that took place is a serious allegation. Yeah? It says that the entire electoral process at that polling station fell apart on that day. If that indeed did happen, they could take down the post as much as they want right now, It's up as far as I know, it's still up right now, but it could be down within the next hour telling you they will take it down because they don't call them already and say, boy, what stupidness you doing? Take down that. So they won't, but I already copied the entire conversation so they could take it down as much as they want. Yeah, it's evidence. We have a caller online. Good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Good night, my love. How are you?
Good night to you, and Peter.
All right.
Good night to everybody. Mr. Watt, Batty, Matthew, the Chase family in America, the Scott family in Georgia. Good night. And to my kids. I'm glad tonight I listening a lie down there, and I listening speaking about the people that don't want to help. And if they don't coming out to help, they staying in the back. But if NNP was in power, if NNP coming for any man, you will see everybody jumping up. And you is so right. You is so right for speaking out so that some of them could listen. They
know my mouth, and they know me afraid to say what to say.
I hear.
All right.
I see some NNP supporters over the years that jumping and chop and dancing and had good jobs with NNP. Saying no, it's Michelle. I'm telling you, somebody tell me that. You know what I say?
Mm-hmm.
And they're cursing the man, right? They're cursing him. And they're saying all kind of things because they're on board with the NDC now. It's Kingston in the morning. All of them jump back. You understand? And they're not doing anything. But they have to run them out of me. But as you say, I don't care. Because you don't have a day that I just stretch hands to somebody and I don't have. They're cursing him and they're saying all kind of things. And when they're ready now, they come and they say something nice. You see how they're hypocrite? They're too tongue. Why you think? Because they didn't get a load of gravel. They didn't get it. They didn't get it cement. They didn't get whatever they asked. They didn't get it. And they're cursing that poor man. One man. You know, understand?
Mm-hmm.
They say no, and when they see him, they're grinning. I don't like people like that. I don't want to be no part of these people. Sometimes they're not busting and they're in the back quiet. Because they're always talking, but you have to keep quiet. And they're in the front. And they're running them out on Mr. Me, and they're running them out on you and others. I don't say nothing. I just keep quiet and listen to them and watch them in the street. You know? And the next thing I have to say, I know of watch the amount of blows I take in Grenada, My children mad with me. Mommy, get out of that. Stay away. The amount of blows I take for Peter David and insult. Things people come and tell me about myself. Eh? They curse me, they call me all names, all dirty things they tell me in the face. And then you have some people, when they want $1 by Mr. Peter David, they go and they make all mischief. They don't have the belly as one this and God. They go and say, well, boss, I broke. I need $50. You have to use smoke coming in. Some of them never get all this insult and disrespect for that man. The minute I hear somebody say, please answer them and I put them in the place. Because look at the man they give the contract up here for security. I remember morning I coming out with Oscar boss and he stopped the boss. And the minute time that guy see me, the guy start. He called Kit Mitchell and Morocco. He called him Crapo. He called him expiry convict. I could just ask Scott as a witness and some of the other passengers, all things. And he come every day on the terminal and watch me and say all kind of things, all kind of disrespect. I take all that blows. I just take all of that. And some of them, when we have allocated togetherness, like how we had it on Hope, Mr. Scott, and we had in Grand Mall, they know some of the NLP supporters that claim them is NLP supporters. They know definitely NLP is not in office. And when NLP was in office, NLP would have paid the bosses. You understand? They don't come out. They don't come out to support to buy a beer or a plate of food or a piece of barbecue chicken. They want them to still pay the boss. Still pay the boss to bring them wherever we have now little good on it. That is hypocrisy with them. They're hypocrite. They know that we're not in office. Right? So you could tell me, come out and give the driver himself that say I go pay $20 a head. Get everybody together. They're not nice people and I have no apology for that. Somebody had to call me because I don't live in value. Somebody had to go and buy nothing. Because when NSP was there, every one bus and going all gathering. No, they have been little things to support the party. Nobody will come out. They don't pay a bus to go nowhere. They want them to steal. Where the hell they going to get the money? Where they get the money to pay? All the parishes to pay to joke people down. Eh? It is so sad.
All right, Cammy.
Have a good night, Unida.
All right, thank you. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. All right? And some people telling me, no, this thing can't be true. Well, we can't just say it can't be true. No, that have to be investigated. A full investigation ought to take place. I watching the Electoral office with our lizard eye. We have a caller online. Good night.
Sheldon.
Hello.
Sheldon, sir.
Hi, good night. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful.
Yes, man. Buzzman.
Sheldon, I don't want to laugh. Yeah, a lot of people don't want me to laugh, but I can't laugh tonight. You understand? Because I'm actually under the weather.
Yeah.
All right, I'm actually under the weather. So let me calling and cheating my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give the support. Sheldon, I want to find out something. Why is it that every time we have several protests taking place, such as Grenada Corporation, which I now renamed this morning on the bus program Rat City. We have protests with Republicans, you know, and so much other protests that is yet to come. Working conditions are not right. Health and safety, we are hearing all these sort of things are happening in terms of towards workers. Why is it that when we having so much different issues arising, you are not seeing Deacon, the Prime Minister, in the country? Why he seems to be running away anytime there is a industrial action taking place, whensoever something happens, he's not around. What seems to be going on?
Is it that he's running away, or is it that he outside so much that he never hear for anything that taking
Well,
place?
Because I stand to be corrected, I want to know if he's running away from his responsibility, or he's becoming habitual where he doesn't want to be in Grenada, or finding some activities outside of Grenada to actually go to. I really don't know, because I'm disgruntled when it comes to that. Right? We have too much issues happening. And next thing again is, children, I want to find out, why is it that when it comes to the state affairs, meaning the country's affairs, we having the Prime Minister not in the country, but so much of different ministers are getting what we call a blight to be Prime Minister.
You see, in my belief, whether you're a minister, the Prime Minister, or so, there are certain things that you must travel to, and there are other things that are unimportant. You can delegate somebody else to go to them. The CARICOM heads of government meeting, 50th anniversary, yes. As Prime Minister, you ought to go. All right, so I could understand that one. But every minute is this NDC organization having a meeting in Canada, so you have to run to that, or one having a meeting in England, you have to go across there. And then, because it costs the state when he's traveling, even though it's an NDC meeting, it's costing the state, because he has to have, the state has to pay for his security and so to go with him. And what they're doing is they're tying town hall meetings for those same times. So I'm not sure if it is the NDC paying his ticket to go and accommodation, or if it is the state of Grenada, because they're having town hall. They could easily say, well, we're having a town hall and the NDC just happened to have an activity at the same time. No, you're hearing? You realize we always hearing that NDC is having this event and he's going. Then afterwards you're hearing, and there is a town hall. So they can be using the town hall as the excuse to pay for him to go to these trips. Which means that you're paying right now for him to go to the NDC meetings out there.
Well, Sheldon, if I am a fool, if I'm considered to be a fool, well, then I must be a fool among fools. I must say that. I really must say that. I want to point out something in terms of the Grenada Postal Corporation. We had this gentleman who is in charge of, overseeing the operations of Grenada Postal Corporation. I want him to speak now. I want him to open his mouth, and I want him to stand and say that NDC is the best party, the best government for Grenada. When we have our very own citizens, they are not dealing with them right. When you have all sorts of rat drop-ins, in the workplace, where workers have to conduct working activities, it's amazing. We still have workers there who is still under contract, who is working for what, below $720. You understand? These are the kind of things I want this gentleman to really sit down and analyze. And then the next question I had to ask him, how does he sleep at night knowing that all these things are happening? All these things are happening, and he's not dealing with it. I say to him, take out the crackerjay in his eyes before he try to take it out in somebody else's own.
Indeed,
you understand?
my brother.
I am somebody that will speak very blunt. I don't speak very blunt. But this and this, the word of the day and the word for the whole year that is written over this NDC government is incompetent. They are incompetent. You understand? They are incompetent,
and it
they
shows.
are not showing signs. These people are considered to be a bunch of toddlers. They're a bunch of toddlers. They still need people to put pampers on them. They still need people to potty train them. Moving further afield in terms of with the seed program, they're talking about cleaning up the seed program. why the male and the female minister the male minister don't remove his father and the female minister don't remove their mother? Why don't they remove their people? We have the Prime Minister talking about, oh, you have to clean up the list because some people have their vehicle, they have their car, they have this. Isn't it not these two ministers has already made it in life? Why the parents have to be under the C program? So you see conflict of interest, Sheldon.
Well, my brother, there's so much conflict of interest with this particular government that it's not funny. It's not funny. The things that they've accused the New National Party of, you're seeing way worse than that taking place. And they just accuse the NNP of certain things, but you're actually seeing them doing things that are much worse than what they accuse the NNP of. Yeah? You're seeing a lot of that.
Something I notice they like doing, they like playing the blaming game, and they like saying, oh, they are in office just 1 year, they can't get everything done. Sheldon, if you make passes and you just speak to police officers, you will hear the many cries. You will hear the many cries. You understand? But this is not just the police officers. Other persons are speaking. All right? Sheldon, also there is a gentleman who from Monday to Friday speaks on his program. Well, not even speak, I stand to be corrected. He normally would train people in customer service and all this other thing. And do you know that gentleman is getting $1,800 per session?
Do you know that as a fact, my brother? Have you seen the documentation to prove that? No, what I'm saying, no. You see, no, hold on. When it comes to your program, you could see them thing. When it comes to mine, unless I see my documentation, brother, because as I keep saying, I've been involved in media and so for over 20 years. I never had to enter court for anything on a program yet. And I do intend to start nowhere.
You wouldn't have to, You wouldn't have to. You know the reason why you wouldn't have to?
That's why I'm asking if you know that for a fact.
No, listen. You wouldn't have to.
Okay. If you say so,
you wouldn't have to when you wouldn't have to when you have it.
All right.
And that's that case there.
Okay.
All right?
All right, my
so
brother.
You have a blessed night, my brother.
All right, thank you. All right, blessings. Yeah, because you all know me already. You all know how I operate, huh? Yeah, so I'm saying here, and I want to just get back briefly to the issue I had raised a little earlier, yeah? Go fast confirmation on things that's reaching. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, good night. How are you?
I'm okay, man. Okay,
all right, you go right ahead.
Yeah. Brother Sheldon, address and be supporter. Right? A question. I addressing them, asking a question. Before the last election, majority of them was working. But because of something that they wanted, they didn't get it. Promises was made to them. And they turned it back on the party and they go and vote for the NDC. And NDC won the election. And what after NDC won the election, what did they do to them? They get rid of all of them. They send them home. You know, sometimes in life, half a loaf is better than nothing. You have a job. You could get a salary and went rich. But because of something that you want from the party and you didn't get it, you go and vote for the other party and you end up losing your job. No money coming in. Yes, we make mistakes. We are not perfect. Right? But you also learn from your mistake. And your mistake that you also learn from. By the sweet talk of other men or sweet talk of other people who will sweet talk you and make you to do something for them. But then when you try that we don't want and get you, you should not let it happen to you again. Even the supporters of the NDC who vote for the NDC and NDC turn it back on them, the house is open. The house is open. Come in. And in that house, there's a house of love. They had a house of peace and togetherness. And a house that considers all Ghanaians as people as important. Not the NFP party does seek the interest of one group of people, but they seek the interest of all. Because NFP has a motto: one cake, and that one cake should share for everyone, not for some people. Because everybody labor in the vineyard. Everybody work hard to make this country which it is presently. So any benefit that come for granted, it should come for all, not come for some. So I want to go back to the NMP supporters. We have to come together, do what we have to do. And if we want our country to come back before the 2020 election, we have to work together, put ourselves over different, and embrace one another for the betterment and for the good of the party and for the good of the country. So, Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right. Thank you very much. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on the inside. Some people tell me, no, if the individual put this up, they took the time, they type it up for 3 days at least, going on 4 now. If they could take the time and they can type this message and they can put it out to all their friends and followers and people who following the people that following them on Facebook, if they can take the time and put it out, then I say that it needs investigating, because there is a likelihood, there is a possibility that what they are saying is true, that someone left the polling station during the election last year, left the polling station with a ballot and come back with ink on their finger and the ballot to put in the, so somebody had ink somewhere else. I really want to know what's going on. We have a call online. Good night.
Well done.
Hey, Cami, 30 seconds, because other people trying to call.
Just now, these mosquito, man.
Yeah, but Cami, somebody else is trying to call and you had a chance already. So let's give priority.
Okay, I want you to fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want to give the priority to someone else. Yeah. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night, my brother.
Hey, Sheldon, the theaters on the street, we pick up something, Sheldon, and I think the disparity is really ugly. The government said that they're cleaning up the seed program. They even claim that they find a doctor in the program,
Mm-hmm.
and they say they're cleaning up the program. But Sheldon, the chatters on the street picked up that somebody was boasting, best government, good government. They know on the seed program. And Sheldon, what the chatters observe is that the person who boasting on themselves on the program now is somebody who is a real estate person. They has property rent out, doing well. They have family-owned blocks plant, and they are even it's alleged that that person receive a pension from England. How does that person end up on the seed program? How is these people say they're cleaning the program if such person is on the program and boasting that they are on the program? I am now on this program, I'm not getting my seed, and claiming that that is the best government. I don't understand. These people seem like they're sweeping the house with a dirty broom. Something is not right. And if this is true, I would like the government to look into that, because you cannot say you're cleaning the program and you're taking out people on the program and you're putting in people who you believe will vote for you. And what is hurtful, Sheldon, and one end of the constituency, they're taking off people, old people, people who is not mobile, people who cannot go and do anything for themselves. They're taking off these people from the program and saying these people are well off. And look who they're putting on. Something really, really, the disparity there is so much, it's shining so ugly. And what is so hurtful, that recipient become boastful to say, best government, I am now on their program. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, my brother. 440-7377. I know a lot was said about the seed program on Andre's program this morning. Don't worry, we'll be dealing with seed when the time comes. We'll be dealing with the seed program as well. All right, 440-7377. So as I said before, I believe the issue that I raised there, that needs investigation also. We've been hearing that, that they've been saying that no registration fees and that sort of thing. And so, but again, and let me just say clearly here, for instance, let me just use the example here. GBSS, the requirements here, you see they say fees. One of the requirements here, I don't think you'd be able to see it there. Let me just fix something on that. Let me pull it back here so that you will be able to see what I'm speaking about. Yeah. So let me just fix that. Right. So, yeah. So you see they're saying fees. All right. Let me see if there is another here. Right. The same they're saying for, yeah. They've got fees and so $200 in this case. All right. Let me see another school. Let me see what are the fees here. But they're saying what it is for here. Administrative cost $5, school ID $20, report book $50, that sort of thing. So what I would say is that the Ministry of Education, I did say that last night. In this case, let me see here, it's $215. So what I would say here is the same thing that I said last night. I believe that the ministry needs to clarify with parents what it is that the fees are covering, or they're saying that there are no school fees. There are schools that are charging registration fees. In the case of GBSS, for instance, I know it's in relation to the tie. The report book, the student ID, there's also the physical education uniform, and so, yeah. So there is or ought not to be anything outside of that. Some of the schools, as one of the schools I just showed, they were able to say these are what that money is going towards. The government needs to clarify with the parents in relation to that, because lots of people were expecting to just go to the school and register the children and not have to pay these things. Yeah? Because they're being told that no school fees, your children going to school for free, and that sort of thing. But yet still there are fees attached. Whether it's just for the school tie and the report book and those kind of things, it is attached. So say that you have removed a component or so, or does the government intend to pay those components at the schools and so, whatever. But don't give the impression that there are no school fees and parents could just come and register the children, because lots of parents still are scrambling now to try and find the money. That $215 or $250 might sound as nothing to some of us, but it's a lot to families right now, especially with the increase in the cost of living. So they are trying to find the monies right now to go and have their children registered over the, and I'm not blaming the schools, yeah, because traditionally this is what they did. The tie is this, the uniform, the physical education uniform is specific, it's that. The student ID to print it and get it done and so on is that. And the things like the report book, the tie, whatever, they charge for that. All right, so there needs to be clarification from the Ministry of Education in relation to this issue, because many parents have been raising that issue. Many parents have been asking questions in relation to those issues. So once again, 440-7377. Yeah, and again, it even goes back to something I was saying earlier, and let me just raise that now, because sometimes people say, well, okay, let me just take this call first, and then I'll get to that one. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, I call back.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Tell you,
go ahead, yeah.
People that bring the money and drop there, I just want them to know. So I want people to know that some people drop at $10, they send up $5.
Yeah.
Telling me I call already. I didn't call about nothing else. I only asked if it's mosquito man. So I want them to know. Want you to know, and some of the same people that they drop off something. This is what I was calling back to say, you know.
No, there was a call.
Back to say nothing else.
There was a call coming through at the same time, so I just wanted to give the time.
Because I don't want.
No, hold on.
I don't want to get it. They say, hey, I dropped money by Miss Kami, and I ain't yet she said nothing.
Of course.
You understand? I know me Grenadian people, so I want the world to know.
Hold on, Kami.
All right.
Hold on, Kami. Don't go yet. Kami? Well, like she gone, yeah. No, what I was saying is that there was a call coming through at the same time that you was calling, so I wanted to give priority to the call since you had called before. Not that you shouldn't call or call back, right? Nice, cool. Because, and that's another thing, sometimes people say, well, they will meet you. Well, how you can be calling so much? But yeah, but then my question to the person is, have you called? Yeah? Have you called? Have you encouraged someone to call? You're saying, okay, don't let this person call, or don't let this person call and speak for X amount of time. Or they would say, well, okay, can we call 2 and 3 times? But did you even call once? Did you even call once? So they want to meet you and they want to say, but can we only calling? Yes, let you call. Because are you calling? Yeah? So let her call. I do have a problem with that. 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. There's a next issue I wanted to raise. It's just 10 minutes after 9. I want to raise this issue as well. We are coming up to the 50th anniversary of independence. And I'm a bit concerned as to whether or not consideration has been given, or even the branch has been extended to have the opposition play an active role in the celebrations. And I'll continue on that after this call. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sister.
Hi, good night, my dear. How are you?
I'm doing me sanitize some money because I want my children at one. I'm ready for my child to school and need my money.
Are you one of the people from the faith program?
Yes, I need my money
Yes.
to register my child to school. I need my money.
Yes, indeed. Oh, boy.
I have 2 children going in high school now. I need my money right now. I need it because I don't have no money. Me father, me mother.
Oh, boy. Oh, goodness. All right, my dear. And you see, that's the sort of things that we hear going on out there. All right? Yeah, that's the kind of things we have going on out there. Nice? 440-7377. So I'm saying the opposition represents a significant number of people in this country that voted for them the last election. Not only those, but they even represent the people that did not vote for them. Yeah? Because when they speak in parliament, when they speak on other platforms, they are speaking on behalf of all Grenadians. Yeah? And as such, in my view, they should be included on any celebrations committee that is taking place. It shouldn't be a NDC thing. This has to be a Grenada thing. So if you do not officially invite the opposition for representatives, and again, I'm saying this blindly because I'm not sure if the opposition has been approached in relation to this. I'm saying that if it has not been done, it needs to be done, so that the opposition can have representatives on any committee that there is going towards the 50th anniversary of independence. You do not want a situation when on your 50th anniversary of celebration that basically half of the country says that what you're doing, they're not taking part in it because it's partisan. That it feels like the town hall meetings that are supposed to be a government-led something, that when you walk into one of them, you're afraid to speak. Because I was listening to the lady speaking in St. Paul's in relation to the seed program and the person that she's seeing about and so on. And you're listening to her speaking and you're hearing the grumbling and the throwing wood and all different things. And when you look inside the town hall meeting, you realize people come on not just with a yellow t-shirt and the yellow cap. They're coming on with the NDC t-shirt and the NDC cap. Yeah? And bands all up to the elbow. Right? So they're coming to the town hall, and the town hall is basically becoming mini NDC meetings. So that other people who may not even be supporters of the new National Party, but may be non-partisan, have decided that they're not even going to go. Because if they go, they're going to be labeled as one or the other. Either they are labeled as a supporter of the NDC, or they're labeled as a supporter of the NNP, according to which question they ask, and they don't want to be labeled by any particular political party. Because when you walk in there, you don't feel comfortable, nor do you feel safe to ask certain questions. Yeah? And that's something that's going across the board right now. Because I've been listening, and I'm very interested to hear the Calypsonians this year, the one or two that I've heard, more or less what you expect from the individuals. But I'm very interested because I want to see if that fear that exists in our society due to victimization, if that fear has so permeated our society that even the people that's supposed to stand up against this government or any government, when they see things that they believe is wrong, that these people have decided that they're going to hush them out too. I want to see if Calypsonians and all afraid of the government. I want to see if Calypsonians going to ask about CBI and the Prime Minister's relationship. Or if they're going to ask about Pumpkinville. Yeah, all you don't know is Pumpkinville. Go down Grandhands down near Wall Street, you go see where's Pumpkinville. Yeah? If they are going to ask about who sell van. I want to know if Calypsonians still have their guts and their belly. Or if they have become gutless and bellyless. Yeah, they get loose belly. So that they would stay there and allow anything to happen and say nothing. Instead, sing the praises of their dear leader. Yeah? So I'm very interested. I want to hear Calypso. Don't be surprised if you see me sit down in the front row in the Calypso tent, because they can't embarrass me or they can't shame me. Shame plate brick. I ain't afraid of that. Yeah? I'm very interested in hearing if the Calypsonians are standing up on the side of the people, or if all of them just need to put on the party t-shirt and jump on the stage. Because there are some of them, from what I hear so far, it's best they put on the t-shirt. Because I would have still think that the NNP was in office. Seriously, the way that some of them singing and carrying on. Because it seems to be a belief that you have to sing about NNP in order to win a crown. Yeah? Well, only could at least give the party a percentage. If only we not sing about the party. Yeah, check the main office and give them a percentage. So if you're going to sing about the party, give the party a percentage, at least. All right? Nice. 440-7377. So again, the 50th anniversary of independence, I'm saying that the opposition must be included. They represent a very significant portion of our country, directly and indirectly everybody. And therefore they should be included as part of any committee that is set up to deal with the independence celebrations for the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence. I hearing their plans to name place and all kind of thing. So at least they need to ensure that everybody, all different sectors, have a say in relation to that. If you're going to be naming streets and they're going to be naming this and they're going to be naming that and all sorts of things, that everybody has a say in relation to it, because you have some people that may not be happy with what you name a particular place for particular reasons or whatever. So if we're going to go that direction, don't make the thing look just like one of your town hall meetings. Yeah? Where everybody just come to sing the praises of the leader. And if somebody stands up and they say something that is true, but it is not in favor of the dear leader. Yeah? Because we know that all the media people frightened. Not one of them, except for Kellan Bob, asked the Prime Minister a question about CBI and his involvement in CBI. All of them afraid to ask about GDB. Every single media person afraid to ask the Prime Minister about GDB. None of them. Because there is this atmosphere of fear. It's between two things. It's either there's an atmosphere of fear among the media, or they're on the payroll of the NDC. It's one or the other. Yeah, because I can't understand that all of you asking questions, and there's the media. I ain't talking about those people who are on the fund programs. People who consider themselves to be the media and afraid to ask the questions in relation to something like that, that is clearly, as we have shown on this program, yeah, and you have seen on other programs, is clearly against the law. But yet still there's this fear to ask about it. So Calypsonians are waiting to hear you all. Yeah, man. Let me see if you all have your guts and you have your belly, or if you're just brown-nosing the government. Yeah? 440-7377. That's the number to get onto the inside of tonight's program. Had it been the NNP ministers traveling every 2 minutes and going all over the world, every minute they're missing, they go on here, they go on there, they go on the other. Yeah, you would hear about 4 Calypso ponging about that right now, about the only jumping plane. Every time you check for them, they go on again. You'd be hearing all kind of thing. But it seems as though Calypsonians in Grenada, yeah, they forget the African tradition. They forget where Kaiso come from. So right now, all they're doing is brown-nose the government. So folks, remember, for those of you in St. Mark, That meeting is taking place at 6:30 at Heroes Square this Thursday.
So continue moving along. No, I don't need
You know, once it's being broadcast, we'll attempt to broadcast it via Talking Points.
continue moving along. No, I don't
Not sure what other media will be joining, but we'll be attempting to broadcast via Talking Points.
I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip. I say I know already. Never me again.
So come on, folks. Work has to be done. We have work to do. Come on.
Too disrespectful, ignorant for the day and thing. But I nothing I have life and I'm still living. Don't care what you think, yeah.
And yes, I do understand with the atmosphere of victimization and so on. There are many people that meet me. I know people that used to call programs and things before and they cannot call now because they know if they call, they lose their job. Yeah? They know if they call, they lose their job. But they still help in other ways and in other ways. So come on, let's try to help as much as possible.
Yeah, 'cause everything where you sit down there.
Be part of the solution and not part of a problem.
Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip. I know already. Yeah, bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No.
Well, yeah, see, Adams, yeah, a minister could travel with their living boyfriend and go to, say, they're going to a meeting or so on, and that's okay, you know.
Where you sit down there and gossip. Oh,
Not one Calypsonian going and sing about that, isn't it?
yeah.
Maybe I had to write in the Calypso myself. You know.
That mind, something in my brain must ignite. But something don't feel right. It's spread my business like bread knife. Grow up.
And saying special good night to those of you regionally, because oftentimes we do forget we have listeners that are listening from St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad, from down in Guyana, Suriname. Yes, we have listeners listening in from Suriname, the one or two in Venezuela and so on, who are listening in Grenadians all over that listening to hear what's taking place in Grenada via this program.
Need you, what's all bad mind.
And I'll hear the voice start to go again.
Continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Yeah, 'cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip. Yeah, I say I know already. Never me again. To put my whole trust in a human being. Too disrespectful, ignorant for the day and thing. But I nothing I have life.
Now I'm seeing some people saying there, but yeah, we know that certain artists can't sing once Dr. Mitchell is not in office. They're going to still attack him and thing, but they, I mean, they can't, they are not the same.
It's come like a pattern. They want to know your business, to talk it on the block with a friend. Oh, nah, bad mind, I see ya. So continue moving.
You must have a competition, put the prize as $200,000 and say you can't call Dr. Mitchell name, write a Calypso. See how much artists could be able to join in.
Yeah, 'cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so
We've got a call online. Good night. Hello? Okay, we lost that caller. 4407377.
So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you.
And we have a call online. Hello?
Hey, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
Right, good night. So you see, when I call on my original number, I'm not getting through.
So you did it
just
like,
call the,
and the same thing happened again?
and they see, well, you just got the, as you answer the phone, it cut off, ain't it?
Yes, that's what happened, yeah. Another feeling is you that was
Right.
trying to call, yeah.
Oh, okay, you know it's me that I was trying to call.
I had a feeling when I heard that as soon as I answered, you just hear plup, it dropped. I had a feeling
Right.
it was you that was calling. yeah.
Right.
So there is a problem.
I call on my next number.
Mm-hmm.
No, Sheldon, you see, when people talk and they don't understand what they're saying, it is very important that you have to clear the air. And that is what's happening in Grenada today. The Prime Minister, his cabinet, and other ministers of government could travel freelance with their girlfriend, their boyfriend, not husband, not wife, and they could do anything. And nobody's complaining. Everybody is calling and say, give them a chance. They're just new in government. But they don't understand it's taxpayers' money that they are spending to do all this traveling. Our money is not their money. And the salary has been increased. $2,000. So we need to do something to let the Grenadian public understand what is happening in our country. They muzzle me, but they won't muzzle me for long.
Well, you're muzzled enough.
I
Because look,
have
you're
no
talking.
problem with that.
Well, this is the strangest thing. Now, folks, this is the caller last week. He kept calling and his phone was cutting off. And I called the number on air. Now, here's what. Every radio program, and he calls a few radio programs, every radio program he's calling, the exact same thing is happening with that number. He could call anybody else with it, but once he calls one of the radio programs, that is happening. As soon as you answer, it's click, click. It just goes off. So he's calling for another number tonight. Go ahead, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sheldon, for clearing the air. Now, I am a Grenadian, and I love justice. I love to see poor people, the less fortunate, survive. There is no debushing for a lot of months now. 6 months has gone in the year. No debushing. Poor people is not spending money. You reduce the amount of people who get in the seed and the social welfare program. People who gets that. Some people has to end up in homes because they're not getting the finances to sustain them for a month. And when you do that, still people is calling and say, give us a chance, give the young people a chance, or give the Prime Minister a chance so that they could do better. No, we don't want that. When you get inside a government, it's time to put action towards. You have promised, you made a lot of promises, you tell people that they would not go home, you will regularize, you're not regularizing. Instead of that, you're sending people home, people is sidelined, and, well, I'm not talking about Carrico because a lot of people lost their jobs in Carrico, but we're talking about Grenada and the mainland. Programs has been closed down, the house repair, the bathroom and toilet, a lot of people has been home. I hope number 10 understand that. Number 10 should speak about that. I am not criticizing her. It's her decision to do what she wants, but this is facts that we have seen, and this is what is happening to our country today. And Sheldon, I wish you to continue your good works and keep the people abreast to what is happening in our country. Thank you very much.
It's not my good works, it's our good works. Who give me the information? Not people like you? All right, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
44073, sir. A lot of people, it's not my program, it's our program. Just understand that. And it's not Sheldon program, it's our program, it's your program. Nice? Good. All right. 4407377, that's the number to call and get into the inside. I just see some bush in that area in St. Mark. They're trying to pull it up. I'll pull it up in a little while. But my goodness gracious. No. Listen, the debushing program is an important thing. Yeah, it's important. Yeah, it's important because it helps people right now with some people going and they have to pay the little fees and things when they're going to register the children. That little money would be able to help them to be able to do that. All right? Things like that. The little bills that they have coming up now, it would have helped them to be able to do that. But you realize this government is just willy-nilly. Everything is a rush. Everything is a, they ain't listening. They just crazy, just doing things helter-skelter and crazy. You understand? And it's, oh, goodness gracious, yeah.
So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind? I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No. Hey, cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down.
Yeah, look, I'm seeing some more here for and at least some schools are spelling out what the registration fees are for games, clothes, report book, school ID, tie, right? This one is saying this one has a registration fee, which according to government shouldn't exist, but they're saying they have a registration fee. Then they have money for school tie, school shirt, games. Well, the specific shirt for the school, okay. Games, t-shirt, prospectus, report book, ID cards, and so those parents for that particular school have to find $195, that sort of thing. I have it on next computer, so I can't pull it up here to show you all. Yeah, but I'm saying there needs to be some sort of clarification in relation to this issue, because a lot of parents are confused. They don't know. When they hear no registration fees, as far as they know, it means none. They don't have to pay any. When it is a situation where you are being told that you still have to find a 200 and something or 300 and something and come in, it is confusing to these parents. So some clarification needs to be given in relation to that one. All right, nice, beautiful, yeah. Remember, running a country is not like lotto. It's not a raffle sheet. I don't know the last time I see a raffle sheet, but it's not a raffle sheet. It's not a thing that you take a chance with. Yeah? Because you could find yourself in serious problems. Like what you find yourself in problems with in Grenada now when it comes to the issue of national security. What it's like when you find yourself in problems now when it comes in relation to healthcare. When it comes in relation to youth development. When it comes in relation to sports. All areas that you're looking in, social development, because now you're having these allegations being made about the seed program, you're having people countering those allegations and all of that taking place. So it is not a thing that you take a chance with. You have to be sure that who you are taking to move your country forward is competent and capable. Yeah? Is competent and capable. And you're having a perfect example of when you don't do that, what happens right now in Grenada. Yeah? Nice, beautiful. 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get on the inside. Your opportunity to, speak it out. As we say, the conversation starts here, yeah.
Never me again to put my whole trust in a human being. Too disrespectful, ignorant for the day and thing. But I nothing I have life.
That's exactly, my friend. It's not a saltfish shop, yeah. And when people say that does want to play the game Vex and all, no, it's not a saltfish shop. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing.
They want to know your business, to talk it on the block with a friend. Oh, nah, bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Yeah, cause everything when you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything when you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Yeah, bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no.
I'm also trying to get clarification in relation to the situation with Republic Bank and the workers and so on. From what I'm hearing, the workers have been asking for a particular percentage raise over the last few years. They have not gotten a raise, and they're asking for, since before COVID, they did not get a raise. So they're asking for a raise over that period of time of a certain percentage. The bank itself is saying that they cannot pay that percentage, that it's unfair to pay that. They're offering somewhere around half the amount that the workers are asking for. Now, the entire thing was taken by the unions to the Minister of Labour, who made a judgment in relation to it in favor of what the workers were asking for. And the bank has still refused to go along with what is being proposed. And now the workers are on strike. So we are waiting to see what comes out of that entire situation. It is causing problems for some people. Yes, there is functionality, but limited functionality at the institution. And so we look forward to everything being resolved properly and the workers returning to work, and at least the returning to work with something in, something more right. Nice, good, nice, beautiful. 440-7377.
Yeah, 'cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Yeah, bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No, I don't need you. What's all bad mind I see you.
And yeah, because I'm checking the comments in and between too. And yes, it is a problem where it seems as though when the new National Party was in office, Calypsonians sang on the new National Party. In fact, one Calypsonian sing, but they had their qualifications. That Calypsonian is now a permanent secretary in a ministry. In any other country in the Caribbean, they were attacking the government. They were attacking the government in power. No way they would have been promoted to get to the position that they are right now, regardless of how much qualifications academically and otherwise that they would have. They would never have been promoted to where they've been promoted. But under the new National Party in Grenada, that individual, yes, you scholar, was promoted up to a permanent secretary. They know very well. You think that would happen now under an NDC government? You think an individual who is within the public service now can go as a Calypsonian, sing on the issues, for instance, that we raise here, sing on GDB, sing on CBI, sing on who sell van and who traveling with the man. You think any Calypsonian could come out and sing on that and get a promotion within any ministry or within the police force? Beasts, yes, sing all kind of thing on Dr. Mitchell, still receive promotions, going up to where he's at right now. Scholar, sing for years on Dr. Mitchell, receive promotions to where he's at right now. Do you really think? Look at the difference, eh? Because they used to say all kind of thing about the NNP or the NNP this and the NNP that, and the NNP victimizing people and also. That is victimization. I want somebody victimize me the way Scholar get victimized. Seriously. I want somebody victimize me like that. If NNP was so wicked and so bad, and was victimizing people, and they victimize you straight into a permanent secretary position, well, I want to get victimized like that too. But what is taking place now? People who were holding the position of permanent secretaries were demoted out of those positions simply because they are perceived. They never see them in a rally. They never see them in a t-shirt. The only thing is that they were promoted up to that position during the period of time of the new National Party. They were promoted up to the position, and those are demoted or kicked out totally. Yeah? So you have the case of, for instance, Norman Gilbert, who was removed as a permanent secretary and sent as a project officer down in the Ministry of Education. Yeah? Simply because he's perceived as a supporter of the new National Party. Sure, they never see him in a rally. They never see him in t-shirt. They never see him anyway. But their perception, and they treat him in that way. Yeah? They look, when the NNP came in 2013, we could have clean house. There was a lot of people you could have just say, you go home, you go home. We did not take that approach. Yeah? People had contracts. Some contracts were renewed, some were not renewed. It was based on, you had to give in, say, well, look, what did I do for the last 6 months, the last year, whatever, and thing. You were able to say what you did, and so assessment was done, right? You had some people that there were several complaints in relation to these people that you didn't see in them for the last so much months. Some people say they were the supervisor and they never see them. All sorts of reports were coming in. Yeah? So you had those categories of people who obviously were unfit for the job that they were holding. But in these circumstances, you're seeing something totally different. People who are fully qualified, who have a body of work behind them, just being spited simply because they were hired during the period of time of the new National Party, being fired because they were hired during the period of time of the new National Party. Yeah? Be you a security contractor who have years, decades of service, you know about security, been involved in security and all kind of thing, whap, they get rid of you and take people who don't know nothing about security. I ain't saying everybody you know nothing, and I like to be straight. There are people who get a little contract, or they realize that doesn't call some people name, and no, they have a little background in security and think they get a little blind, all well and good. All right, yeah. But there are some people that don't know nothing, and they getting big contract. They even getting bigger ones than them who get contract that know about security. The people who don't know nothing about it getting bigger contract than them. That's the kind of thing that's taking place under this administration. And if you pick up the phone and you call another program, not this one, but if you call another program and you go and you say, well, the Prime Minister and them do this and them do that and so on, and you say anything that is perceived to be negative, sometimes it's not even negative, and sometimes you're just giving good advice to the ruling administration. Papa, you about 3 or 4 of them calling to cuss you. How is now you know that? And why you calling? And why you do hush day? The same way that the MPs behaving in Parliament. Because that's where it starts. The same way that the MPs are behaving in the Parliament of the country is the same way the supporters are behaving out there. So when you see Honorable Emlyn Pierre or Honorable Peter David, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis, Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest or Dr. Mitchell gets up and they give advice to the government that, listen, you're trying to do that, but we believe that you need to look at this can happen. You need to look at that can happen. You need to look out for this. You probably need to relook this aspect of it because it's something that we've looked at already. While they're trying to give advice to them, people that don't know, you know. They don't know. All of them don't know. They're trying to give them advice in relation to it. What coming from that side? Well, you know, hush. So they didn't know, well, hush and sit down there. We in charge now. Them kind of stupidness that coming from the other side of the house. Yeah? So there's that atmosphere that has been created in Grenada, and I'm saying that the last bastion that's supposed to be standing is the Kaisonians, but from what I'm hearing so far, the pile of gubar that are hearing that passing so far, because like all of them afraid. They have no belly and they have no guts. So they can't go and sing. They are too afraid. Yeah? But under the NNP, or look at that, call everybody name. Or look at that, say anything. And nobody threaten all you. Nobody tell all you to go do all of this or to go do all of that. All you was able to sing all your song. Who was able to make it to finals? At least some all you just get a parents' fee. But you make it to finals. Yeah? And then you had those who they never suffer within the service. Instead of that, they get promotion. And that alone should tell you the nature of Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the new National Party administration. That a person like Scholar could have reached where he reached under the NNP. Because they didn't need to do it. They didn't need to do it. They could have leave him in a school. They could have leave him in the ministry in some lower position and just leave him there. But no. They took him out from there and they brought him up to a certain level. There are several people they took and they brought up to a certain level that they did not need to do. Yeah? No other country. I could guarantee you that there's no other country in the Caribbean under any other political leader in the Caribbean that you would see what happened with Scholar was able to happen. None. None. I could guarantee you that. It happened here in Grenada, and it says a lot about Dr. Mitchell and the NNP that they could put aside, hey, that man does be calling him a name in Calypso every year. We gave him the job still. It says a lot about them as individuals. Yeah, that they are able to put all of that aside and say, okay, we believe that we're going to give this person the opportunity, and they raise them to that level. And yet still, the man not in office, and the same people cussing him. You know what that says? That says a lot about him. And that says a lot about the organization that he supports. Yeah? That says a lot about them. You understand? Yes, and Beast, we know. And Beast too. Cousin Beast, why do it, sir? Yeah, and Beast. And there are many others that clearly, during the time of the new National Party, had an anti-government agenda. But yet still, that still did not stop them from being promoted. That still did not stop them from gaining a position or gaining some sort of benefit that was due to them. But that's not the case right now. All you're hearing is threats. When a man could go and tell one of the bus drivers for the hospital, what you doing here still? I supposed to have that contract already. Yeah? What you doing here still? I supposed to have that contract already. You have to ask yourself, but if that is where we come to, if that is where we reach to, what you doing here still? I mean, last night I told you all about it. Let me show you all the contract, the thing here. Yeah, let me show you all. Let me see if I could pull it up here. Yeah. Right? And it's from the director. Let me show you here from the director of hospital services, etc., etc. Right? And that was that was sent out. There's a list. I won't put the list up because I don't think it's fair for me to put the list up with all the names and so on. And while I'm saying this, there's also a situation in relation to nurses and their contracts. And I ain't talking about one or two nurses. There is a situation that's presently developing in relation to nurses and their contracts that we're going to get in a little more into tomorrow night. I just want to make sure that I cross all my T's, I dot all my I's, and I make sure that my cursives are very cursive before I speak on them. So tomorrow we're going to speak a little more on what is taking place in relation to nurses and renewal of contracts. And so because some just saying straight up, me renewing, I go in. Yeah? But yet still, in their mind, Dr. Mitchell is the worst man. He's the worst man. Look at the situation. Listen to some of them when they're singing. Listen to some of them on what they're saying. And then look at the backstory. Were these people that were denied any opportunity? Or were these people that were given opportunities? They didn't get the opportunity under the last NDC, they got it under the new National Party. Gave them the opportunity. Yeah? So it tells you a lot about the individuals themselves. And it also tells you about the individuals that knew them for what they were. I mean, they didn't hide it. They was there. You go to Marsh Grand, you're hearing them. You understand? You didn't even have to go to Marsh Grand. It was on radio, all kind of thing. You're hearing them. Yet still, they were given promotions. They were given opportunities. And then at the end of the day, you see these same people and you hear the venom, the vitriol and the hate that they come with. It tells you about the individual themselves. It says they are very hateful individual. Yeah? It tells you a lot about them. Yeah? 4407377. We have roughly about 13 minutes. Let me just clear the lines. We have about roughly 13 minutes remaining on tonight's program. And you know I like that song, yeah? So I just keep playing it.
So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all that mine? I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No, no. Hey, cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip. Hey, I say I know already. Never me again. To put my whole trust in a human being. Too disrespectful, ignorant for the day and thing. But I nothing I have life and I'm still living. Don't care what you think, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're drinking water, but people business you're in. You're running your mouth like sprinter. Like Mikey life is in labor. Fakeness come like a pattern. They want to know your business, to talk it on the block with a friend. Oh, nah.
And I'm just trying to pull up a video here.
No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mine? I see you.
But the system seems a little off still. Even though I fixed everything before I left last night, there's still a little problem because when I got in today, everything was off. There seems to have been a power outage here. So it messed up one or two things. So I'm just trying to get something up here for you as well.
Yeah, bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Cause everything where you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything where you sit down there and gossip, oh, I know already. Yeah.
and I want to show you all this one because I'm just want to give you a reminder of something that was said and what is being said now, because it's an issue that I'll be going a little deeper into very soon. Yeah, so I just want to give you all a little insight into what was said before and what has just been said in relation to this particular issue. So let me just pause this here and let me just get this to start on here. Nice. Beautiful.
Stage, I can't give you a definitive answer. I certainly would say my inclination is I'm not satisfied, even with an NDC administration, that the government should be the majority shareholder. Right? This is energy. It is a highly complex, highly capital-intensive industry, and so to me, what we need to look at is find a strategic partner or strategic shareholder in conjunction with the Grenadian shareholders, because you have to remember the National Insurance Scheme, the Grenada Ports Authority, and at least another 1,600 Grenadians are shareholders of that company. They've depended over the years on being paid the dividends. They've depended over the years on having a well-run company. And the employees have benefited, have been well paid, and for the most part, are probably some of the highest paid employees in Grenada. So what you want is a strategic partner that can allow the company to continue on that prior path of being well-run, profitable, where the employees are well taken care of, where we have a reliable supply of energy, and at the same time begin the process of transitioning to renewables, because that's also critical. As long as we're burning fuel, we're subject to the vicissitudes of the ups and downs of the cost of oil. And so it's important for us to have a strategic partner who wants to also invest in renewables and who wants to follow our policy goal of saying we need to have as much renewables penetrating our grid as possible. So that is the direction I think we are likely to go. And we really do want to push the renewables or any other form of alternative energy that is feasible in Grenada. So that is really what ideally the approach we would be taking.
But that is more long term. I mean, we can't have engines failing on us and load shedding and.
No, well, then absolutely. So in that case, if we need to, if you have to buy the bullet, you buy the bullet, which means if you have to recapitalize the company and you have to I don't see it as long term, frankly. Let me just back up a little. I actually think we could, once we do it properly, within 6 to 12 months, get a strategic partner who would come in, acquire a significant portion of the shares. You want a partner who clearly is already in the energy business and who's also has a strong renewables footprint. And I think that could.
Now, I played that because I want you all to now listen to what the Prime Minister is saying now in relation to the very same issue. I would like you all to hear him clearly and his now pronouncements in relation to the issue of selling Grenlec and if Grenlec should be sold, etc., etc., etc. So let me just pull that one up for you all now.
In the early days, the future of Grenlec was one of the things we talked about, and you seem pretty sure that divesting, selling Grenlec, putting it in private hands might be the best option. Sounds like you are rethinking that a little bit.
No, it was an option. I don't know that it was the best option.
You sounded like this was what you preferred.
Well, I think if we look at the history of Grenlec, it certainly has been managed best when it was majority owned. And so we still have to guard against the risk that if it remains in government hand, period, there's always that creeping risk that because of the nature of our politics historically, that may be a challenge. But as I said, technology has a way of changing a lot of things. So in the wider scheme, we have to look at overall. Remember, the former administration said it was buying Grenlec because when it bought Grenlec, the price of energy will go down. Well, I think we know that's not the case. The price of energy is probably even more expensive today than ever before.
Interestingly, my bill has gone down, but has been cut by more than 50%.
Okay. Well, we could look at why that has been the case. cost of fuel, thankfully, diesel has been dropping. As you're also aware, the government is actually subsidizing the bills by $10 for anyone who consumes up to 99 kilowatt hours. So we've been assisting with ensuring that persons can maintain, affordable energy. But going back to the original question, we are looking at all options, right? But crucially, if we realize the vision that energy production is demonopolized and it's in the hands of many producers, then the question of whether you then need to sell the network manager, which essentially is Grenlec and the network owner, probably becomes a moot point. Because in effect, what you have now is significant other players in the industry. You have a lot of private generation that is now being sold. And then Grenlec essentially becomes a manager and an operator of the grid. So the need necessarily to maintain, because the problem with generation is that somebody has to maintain the engines, someone has to buy the diesel, and that's very expensive. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think anywhere between $70 and $100 million is spent on importing diesel. So if we have renewable generation, that money stays into the country. And they need to always worry about where you're going to get this $100 million to burn diesel and to maintain the diesel engines and all of the risk that comes with it is less. We will still need diesel, obviously, because at night, during prolonged periods of rain, etc., we need to have a backup to ensure that there's stability on the grid. But certainly we need less of it and probably less engines, less maintenance and all of that goes with it. So, it doesn't mean that we don't need private investment. Even for the significant solar sites, for example, poles or even at the airport, it has to be financed. Whether Grenlec does it itself, whether it partners with a private person, or whether a private person does it and Grenlec buys the power, those are all models we're looking at currently. And we've had offers from some of the private sector entities expressing interest in funding and financing and partnering on some of those projects. So we're evaluating it.
Okay, who are some of these investors that have shown interest?
Well, I would prefer not to disclose because we have not actually gotten to the point where we have said to them yes, because we're still evaluating. So I don't, in fairness to them, I don't want, with me not having said to them, that I would disclose the names that I came and did so without giving them the opportunity.
So selling off majority shares in Grenlec is no longer on the table?
No, I wouldn't say it's no longer on the table. I'll give you an example. To fund the generation expansion, for example, that we need to do, we'd have to buy new engines that are dual capacity. We need to get the funding from somewhere to do that. One possible way of doing that would be to sell shares in Grenlec, right? It doesn't mean the government shares. We could issue and sell more shares to the public. If that was done and it was successful, it could mean, for example, that ordinary Grenadians collectively could become the majority owner of Grenlec. So that's one option. So private investment will be needed. The question is the form and how it takes is not something we've settled or discussed in detail as yet. Because we need to get the final numbers on the cost of the generation expansion. We need to get final numbers on what it will cost to do the solar farms, etc. And I think when we have those, then it puts us in a better position to consult with the public and then make a determination as to what's the best decision.
Okay, because I got the sense from you, and I could have been wrong, that a single majority owner was
No. The one thing, you remember I said we constantly evaluate and reevaluate. The one thing I'm not, I try not to be guilty of is being in love with an idea for the idea's sake. If when you start off, you thought, okay, this might be the best approach, and there's empirical evidence and other suggestions that may work better, we have to be prepared to drop what we might have thought was our better idea and look at the other options and say, okay, what we thought was the case is not the case, and let's look at the other options, and if the other options are better, go with them.
But folks, from day one, the Prime Minister is now starting the song exactly as Mr. Gregory Bowen, because that is what the new National Party has been saying from day one, that it is better for government to own. Now he's saying, originally he was saying within 6 to 12 months they're going to find a person to take over Grenlec. Now he's saying that Grenlec should remain, as the manager overall of the electricity grid here in Grenada, and that you bring in other people to provide. For instance, I might have a piece of land and I decide I want to put up some solar panels and sell all the electricity that I'm producing back to Grenlec. In other words, they would have a connection to my solar panels. I'm providing the electricity to them that they are going to provide to everybody, right? And they pay me for the electricity that they're taking from me. I'm generating electricity and helping them cut back on the amount that they have to generate using the diesel generators. That is what the NNP has been saying from ever since. That is why we passed the act that we passed in relation to Grenlec, and you allowed other people to become energy producers in Grenada. The act that the same company he represented, the same person that was speaking there as Prime Minister now, was the lawyer that represented WRB that was against us doing what he is now saying that he go in and do as Prime Minister. Because we said, let other people come in, whether they want to go geothermal. So you have a company that comes in, they're using the heat from the earth to generate turbines, to generate electricity. You don't have to buy no oil and gas to do that. The heat from the earth is there. When that done, the earth done. So you have the heat from the earth, and so you generate electricity with that. You use that geothermal energy. You have people that come in, they want to set up a wind farm. They have an area, they have the wind turbines and so on. They're generating electricity. That electricity is fed into the grid, right? Grenlec is still the main company, but this company sells electricity into the grid, because which other company go in and come in and run electricity poles from one end of Grenada to the other to say they're providing electricity for anybody? Nobody is going to do that. But you have companies that will come in and provide electricity to feed into Grenlec's grid. That could not have been done. It could not have been done until the new National Party changed the law, because then it allowed competition in the electricity sector. Now, the Prime Minister is saying, well, nah, he didn't really mean this thing about the 6 to 12 months, but since you have Grenlec will be the main company. Because at that point in time, again, he's still thinking as the company lawyer, because he was totally against. That's what he represented. The company was against the fact that the NNP changed the law, because Grenlec, up to that point in time, according to law, was the only company allowed to produce electricity in the state of Grenada. That is no longer the case. Yeah, other people can generate. You can generate from your home and different things like that. And you also have the opportunity, if you want to come off of the grid, you produce for your home and so on. We provided that under the law. So now he's changing around. You even start a song that, as Honorable Gregory Bowen, when he's talking about Grenlec and thing there now, you realize the story start to change. You realize the story start to come directly in line with what the NNP has been saying for the past few years, but yet still, he was the lawyer that fight against what he's benefiting from now. The same individual. Yeah? The same individual. But we're going to talk about that one more. Folks, that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. And it look like all the time I have for my voice too, because it seems as though it's about it seems as though my voice is about to go on me. But that's I have some listeners there to mute the thing while the man talking me. Only easy, you know. Only behave on yourself. Folks, that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you, even though I'm not at 100%, but it's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm out of here and we'll be here tomorrow night, God's willing. I'll try some lemon and so on and honey and so with the voice. And see if I could get it back into operation for tomorrow as much as possible. All right, that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. I am out.